Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. What's going on, Pile 1? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, we are back doing another pick a card love reading. My name is Michelle. And, God, did I just get that all out of order? Welcome, you guys. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we are tapping in and channeling through who you are to your person, where it is that you stand with them, and what it is that they want from you and their connection with you, okay? So just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general collective love reading. Whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something doesn't quite land, just drop that bit of information, that message, and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. I do have private readings available. If you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection, just check the description box below. That's where you can find all the booking details. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category, including this reading right here in this exact format. Okay, you can get this as a personal reading. There's also a lot of $25 readings available that you can choose from as well. All right, so you can just get some Palo going here to help me ground myself. Let's see. All right, so you guys were drawn to the Moonstone, green Moonstone. I think it's called Garnierite. Garnierite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but all right. For who you are to your person, we have the Wizard of Awareness showing up in the reverse, along with the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Wands in the reverse. Oh my gosh. For who you are to your person, I'm picking up a vibe from your person, Pile 1, that you are someone that they want and or wish they could just have something carefree with. Your person could have an aversion to feeling very deeply, maybe even taking things seriously. With the 3 of Swords here, you're also somebody that either has or could break their heart, cause them a lot of pain in some way, shape, or form. You're also somebody that they can see long-term with the 10 of Pentacles, okay? They can see having everything with. And with the 8 of Wands showing up in the reverse, it's like, nope, gotta slow it down, right? That Wizard of Awareness in the reverse, that's almost like your person wanting to block out the fact that they can see a future with you. They can see themselves spending more time with you, spending their life with you, things like that. And they're like, no, 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 no. Okay? That's pretty much the energy I'm picking up from your person for who you are to them. Let's grab their thoughts and feelings real quick and see how we can expand on that. One more shuffle. Ooh, yeah, there we go. I knew it, strictly sexual. And that is why it's showing up underneath the Three of Swords. Your person is wanting to keep things at a very surface level, as casual as possible, because they fear getting their heart broken. Okay, the fact that your person is admitting to you, now whether you've broken their heart or not, pile one, they're admitting not only to themselves, but also to you. Primarily to themselves, though, that right now, as it stands, you already have the potential to break their heart. And so they're trying as hard as they can to kind of keep you at arm's length in terms of like heart-wise, right? Oh, and then we have, I'll do whatever it takes to win you back. Yeah, let me get one more. This feels more like, yeah, I question your love for me. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Let me see. Let me make sure that I'll do whatever it takes and strictly sexual. Make sure that's not combined energies there. Okay, they're separate. All right. Yeah, your person almost, this is so weird. It really isn't. When you start to understand dynamics and the way nervous systems work and how some people, naturally associate pain with attachment, while others, and then others associate pain with a lack of attachment. It makes a lot of sense, right? But your person is almost like they're wary of being too happy in a connection. It's a lot to lose for your person, right? And so even the fact that, for who you are to them with the Ten of Pentacles there, this is almost like they can see that with you for who you are to them, but they don't actually want to materialize that, because then it gives them a lot to lose, right? If they have, the Ten of Pentacles, that's everything. That's family, that's legacy, that's getting married, having a house together, having kids together, having generations together, building generations together. And it's like, if I mess this up, or if for whatever reason things don't work out, that's a lot to lose, right? And so your person is like at this point just interested in keeping things sexual, because, should something happen to your guys' connection, pile one, should you change your mind, turn around, walk away, meet somebody else that you want to be with, blah, 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 then it's like, yeah, there's a loss, but it's not as significant as if it were, if you guys were to have a connection more like this Ten of Pentacles, right? Again, that Three of Swords there is actually coming through and saying a lot for who you are to your person, which is exactly why they don't want it to be anything more than sexual. They're like, they don't even want to go past that point, because they don't want to get to the space. Like right here, they're saying, I'll do whatever it takes to win you back. They don't even want to get in that space. But the fact that this is out on the board, this is them almost saying, like, they can see themselves, like if they were to yield completely and hand over their heart to you and go all in, this is exactly how they would have a hard time walking away, right? If it ever came to that. Even if you were the one to be the one to end things and walk away, they'd be like, I'd have a hard time letting go. I'd have a hard time moving on, and they just don't like that. And then here we have, I question your love for me, showing up underneath the Eight of Wands. This may not even be anything that you're saying or doing directly. This could just be them questioning love altogether, right? Like them really questioning, do you really love me like you say you do, pile one, or are you going to end up like everyone else in my life? And, your person could also be not understanding love very, not understanding bonds, and not realizing, like, sometimes when people correct you or they have boundaries and enforce boundaries because, for instance, this is a for instance, say like if you got onto your person, or your person just did something stupid, disrespected you in some way, and you drew a boundary and you stuck to it, rather than looking at that as, oh, pile one respects themselves, they looked at that as like an attack. Like, oh, you know, if you loved me, you wouldn't have done that. If you loved me, you wouldn't have drawn that line and stuck to it and maybe not talked to me and blah, 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 right? So there is a little bit of that energy coming through. Let me see. I question your love for me. Tell me more about that. Yeah, you very much so. There's almost a question your person has, or questioning, okay, your person is actually wondering why. Why do you love them? It's not so much that they're questioning whether or not you do love them. It's almost like, why do you love them? They can't make heads or tails. There's something they're not understanding. To them, it's like it doesn't make sense why you love them. Okay, they're trying to figure out why you're still here. You're still, you know, they're trying to figure out why are you still there? Why are you still hanging around? You know, especially if the two of you have gone through, if they've put you through a lot of stuff, your person could just have a really low opinion of themselves as well. You know, they could be holding you up on a pedestal. They're definitely not holding themselves on a pedestal, okay? For whatever reason, they're counting themselves out in terms of being a life partner for you. To them, you choosing them does not make sense, okay? It does not make sense at all. Very interesting. I never had that message come through in that energy before with that card. Let's see, what is it they want? You know, and for those of you, if the two of you have, you know, split up, or you have walked away, pile one, or, you know, you put up a boundary, your person is like, they're in that energy now. They're like, I'll do whatever it takes to get you back. And the caveat being, it's not going to be anything more than just strictly sexual, right? They're already in a space with you, pile one, where they don't want to let you go. They don't want to lose you in the connection that they have with you, and they're doing everything that they can to make sure that it doesn't grow beyond a certain point, okay? So just keep that in mind. I just saw talking. Where does pile one currently stand with the person on their mind, their love interest? The runner. Yeah, they're running. Okay. This is runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy and listening to egos. And that is showing up right on top of that Three of Swords. It's okay. Can't get any more direct than that. They are running away from your potential to hurt them, and you can. Okay. Your person is acknowledging that. The fact that you even have the power to hurt them makes them want to run. Now, there is kind of a feeling here, like, if, I don't know if your person, let me check that real quick. There's a slight message coming through. Am I on the right track here? Okay, not quite. Your person, they're very finicky when it comes to just connections in general. They don't like to get close to anybody, whether it's romantic, whether it's just friendships. They might even hold, you know, a lot of their family members at arm's length. I mean, they could have one or two, right? Maybe from childhood that they trust and stuff like that. But for the most part, your person just feels comfortable just keeping their connections as casual, as lighthearted and carefree as possible, okay? They're not really the type, for many of you, even in their friendships, to get so close to somebody where it's like, oh, that's my best friend, or oh, that person is like my brother or my sister, or that person's like family, right? If they have, then it's probably somebody that they've known since childhood. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Where does pile one stand with their person currently? Girl talk. This is time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. Let's get one more. Again, and then we got lightning showing up right on top of the Eight of Wands in the reverse. This is sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. At the bottom of the deck, what do we have? We got sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception focusing out. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's weird to tap into your person's feelings for you because they try so hard not to even acknowledge them. But the fact that they see you as somebody that could hurt them, that could break their heart, that lets you know there's something there, right? And for where you stand with them, pile one, it's almost like friend zoning or friends with benefits, keeping things, it's like wanting to, you know, like being very friendly, like really liking somebody, right? But taking all of the feeling out of it. I'm not even picking up on a lot of romance and affection. If there is any romance and affection, it might just be expressed or revealed during sexual moments. But beyond those moments, it's just like, you know, they're happily single. It's like when they spend time with you, they think of spending time with, you know, when they're spending time with you, they see it as I'm spending time with a good friend, right? Now they may not, again, your person is very into like holding people at arm's length, and so they may not look at you as a best friend, right? But a good friend, you know. There is a sense here that they do trust you to a certain degree, but it feels like your person does have possible abandonment issues, trust issues, you know, and all insecure attachment wounding can be fueled by either a fear of intimacy, you know, a fear of getting too close to one another, and or a fear of abandonment. But I feel like both of those, you know, include abandonment wounds. Your person could just be the type that's like, you know, I'm going to leave you before you can leave me. I'm going to, you know, put you at arm's length and distance, you know, myself from you mentally and emotionally before you can do that to me. And or just could be your person just, you know, no, it's that Three of Swords energy. That's what they're distancing themselves. Yeah. If they that's why they want to keep things in a very casual, having fun, you know, we're friends with benefits, right? And keeping it in that dynamic because they feel like they are better able to mitigate heartbreak or disappointment or rejection. You know, it's almost one of those things like pile one, if you know, end up finding someone else, they'd almost like they'd expect it, right? And it wouldn't break them as if the same that it would if the two of you were to come into something, you know, committed and solid and monogamous, and then you go meet somebody else. And, you know, you see what I'm saying? Your person could have had an experience like that before, and it could have absolutely gutted them. Okay, that's an example. Let's see what's going on with lightning. This is sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. Okay, this definitely something with you, okay, with that Queen of Wands. That's an absolute yes. So what happened here? Oh, okay. You may have left their attraction to you may have hit them out of left field. Now, not to say that, oh, they're saying it's not necessarily because, you know, your person can feel physical and sexual attraction and chemistry with someone, but it's like you hit them at a soul level. You hit them at a heart level. They were not expecting that, okay? The fact that they believe and see that you do have the ability to hurt them if they gave you the space to do that, that's much of the reason why they keep so many people at arm's length, so that people don't have that kind of power and influence over them, but you do. And now that you do, it's like they're doing what they can to mitigate it, right? It's like, you know, yeah, it's like they'll experience disappointment possibly and stuff like that. But if they're keeping things strictly sexual, friends with benefits, nothing more than that, then it's to be expected, right? it's not going to blindside them. It's not going to hit them out of left field should you decide to go somewhere else with someone else, right? Tell me about sunglasses. Okay. Wow. Oh, okay. Your person could possibly be trying to distance and distract themselves from you by keeping themselves in connections with other people, not necessarily other feminines, but because nothing but masculine energy came through with the King of Wands in the reverse, the King of Swords in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands in the reverse, okay? They might have, yeah, they're trying to temper that. So, this is sunglasses says watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. Your person has an urge, okay, pile one, to keep tabs on you, to check up on you, to see what you're doing, you know, to want to know more about you. But to them, that's getting closer to you. That's intimacy, right? And they're doing everything that they can to distract themselves from wanting to do that. And so, you know, your person could be scrolling social media. They could be, you know, whenever they kind of get the urge to see what you're doing on social media, or to text you, or to see what you're up to, or even just to ask you questions about, you know, what you're up to, what's going on in your life and stuff like that. They somehow distract themselves with other people, okay? Masculine energy coming through, a lot of masculine energy coming through. Not necessarily romantic, right? Not romantic energy coming through. Just, again, it could be friends, you know, just maybe very light connections. Let's see what it is they're wanting when it comes to you. What does pile one's person want when it comes to pile one and their connection with pile one? Self-delusion. And that is showing up under that Three of Swords. See, they're wanting to lie to themselves about the fact that you even now possess the ability to hurt them. This is, yeah, so what they want, this is not seeing reality clearly, lying to yourself, and false notions about things. Yeah, they don't even want to acknowledge the fact that there's enough feeling there between the two of you that you do have the ability to hurt them, okay? Let's find two more, or let's get two more. Habitual liar. Okay. Constantly lying, can't hide in lies anymore. This is lies exposed. That is showing up right underneath that Ten of Pentacles, okay? I will clarify that, though. It's like they're constantly lying to themselves about that. Now, this is interesting because now we got divine intervention. This is angels are helping, trust the divine plan, and believe in miracles. So there could be a part of them that, despite all of this fear, right, actually does want to believe in maybe love again, or wants to believe in the sincerity of people's words. Like if you've promised them something or whatever it is that you tell them, pile one, they want to believe in the sincerity of that. But again, you know, there's just a lot of things that they're questioning when it comes to you and their connection with you. The message that was coming through for I question your love for me, that's more like your person, again, wondering why do you love me? And then with divine intervention, wanting to feel like it's an obvious match. Or it could also be like your person trying to figure out, like, why are you still hanging around when, you know, pile one, you know that you want something more committed, you want something like this, you know, or you want this kind of person, and your person's like, I'm not that kind of person. You know, they're questioning why. Why are you still hanging around? At the bottom of the deck, we got secretly stalking. Okay. And that's right underneath the sunglasses as the bottom of the deck. Come on. This is curious about you, not over you. Checking social media. Let me check that again, because that's basically the same thing. We'll see if we get the same message. Your person wants to know more about you. Okay. There is curiosity about you and your life, what makes you tick, you know, things like that. Let me pick your brain, that kind of energy. And your person, for whatever reason, is just resisting that, okay? But let me see, what's this energy here? This bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, same energy as the sunglasses, okay? Your person just trying to distract themselves in any which way, shape they can to keep them, because they know, like, if they were to allow themselves to really spend more time with you, really get to know you more, get more involved in your life, then, you know, it's like the power in your influence that you could have to hurt them, right, grows. And it's also one of those things, like, you know, they already like you genuinely as a person. They're already attracted to you genuinely as a person. Like, their attraction to you goes beyond just a physical and sexual attraction. There's, for your person, they're telling me, there's mental and emotional attraction that they are feeling towards you, and they're doing everything that they can to kind of like, not really snuff it out, but water it down, minimize it, not give it so much importance. And so your person, because this is showing up twice, they have the urge to get to know you better. They want to get to know you better. And it's almost like they're not sabotage. I mean, yeah, I guess it could be, but I mean, it's like they're doing everything that they can rather than spending time with you and getting to know you. It's almost like they're taking that energy and giving it to other people that they don't have that same kind of attraction to, right? People that they don't really care to know, or if they do know those people, they're not really that attracted to them, you know? And so, very interesting. This is your person really feeling like they have to, like they're wanting to hold themselves back from getting to know you better, even though there's such a large part of them that does, okay? Let's see, tell me more about divine intervention for what they're wanting. Trust the divine plan. Okay. Coming out with the Three of Wands here. Very interesting. In the reverse. See, this is your person. This is very much whatever's going to be is going to be, right? Yeah, there we go. Living in the moment. Having fun. It's just like your person is like, they don't even want to put any investment towards imagining a future, even though they know it's there with that Ten of Pentacles. That they you know, they don't actually want to even mentally or emotionally invest in it because of what would be at stake if they did. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And so with divine intervention, trust the divine plan. That's your person, especially with the Three of Wands in the reverse position. This is them, like, you know, they're not even trying to think about having a future with you, because that promotes more intimacy, getting close to you, right? That promotes desire. And your person, when it comes to desire, it's like there's consequence attached to that. And so it's like, no, I'm not even gonna, I'm just gonna think about this moment right here, right now, right? Tell me about habitual liar. Constantly lying. Okay, about what? Yeah, they're lying to themselves about you, okay? In a flattering way. And this isn't necessarily, yeah, it's not, they're lying, okay, so this is not them lying to you. This is them lying to themselves about you, how they feel about you, what they want for you. The fact that we have the Death in the reverse here showing up, this is your person, like, lying to themselves about the fact that they don't want things to end with you, right? That Ten of Wands here, that's, oh wow, and then we got the King of Wands. So we got the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. The King of Wands is at the back of the deck, and they're both in the upright position. They're lying to themselves about the fact that they see you as a perfect match for them. Which makes sense why your person then is like, you know, when they're asking, like, they question why you love them. And that's why you do love them, is because you know that, and you are truthful to yourself about the fact that, you know, energetically at least, the two of you are a perfect match. It's just your person is denying themselves of that. They're denying that they even feel that way about you. That Ten of Wands, that's pressure. That's also trouble that is worth the trouble. That is effort that is worth whatever trouble that might be, you know, that may be required of them. Especially coming out with, you know, I'll do whatever it takes to win you back. This is your person, like, holy shit. The fact that they even think like that is terrifying to your person. Because that means to them, you know, mentally and emotionally, there's a lot of skin in the game, even where they stand right now with you. Even though they're keeping things very sexual, very casual, very non-committal, you've already made it to this point where your person is like, damn, you know, I do whatever it takes to get pile one back. I do whatever it takes, you know, to make things right. And there's a caveat with that, though. It's like beyond a certain point, right? Yeah, it can be confusing because I'm tapping into that energy now, and I'm like, well, you'll do whatever it takes to win them back, but you won't give them anything more than just, you know, a strictly sexual kind of a dynamic. That's like, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that, right? That Meatloaf song. Yeah, anyway, pile 1, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It is a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you have not yet already done so, simply by subscribing, and don't forget about the notification bell. Yeah, so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Pile 1, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys. What is going on, pile 2? Welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Michelle. We're back doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through who you are to your person, where do you stand with them, and what is it that they're wanting when it comes to you and their connection with you, okay? So keep in mind, it's a collective general love reading. Whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. Just check the description box below. All of the booking details can be found there. There's a lot of readings available in the specific person category, including this one. I have this exact reading in this exact format available as a personal, as well as other. There's $25 readings you can get as well. Lots of those, so go check them out, you guys. Links are in the description. You guys were drawn to the blue Aragonite stone. Let's find out where or who you are to your person currently. Ooh, we have movement. Okay. There could be pressure. Your person, that's who you could be to your person, is pressure, okay? But not bad pressure. Yeah, we got the 3 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, okay? And we have the King of Wands. Yeah, you are pressure, but not in a bad way, okay? This is kind of like pressure to improve, pressure to get things moving, pressure to move, like to make progress, stuff like that. With the 3 of Cups for who you are to your person, you're almost like an example or proof that love or closeness, intimacy even, it can be enjoyable, right? I don't know if maybe your person has had experiences up until the point of meeting you where maybe love hasn't been all that enjoyable, right? You could also be someone to them where it's like you can maintain a sense of individuality even within, a romantic connection, but you are also exposing maybe your person's maybe self-doubts, maybe issues with self-esteem or self-confidence with that King of Wands in the reverse. You could be highlighting where maybe what they're wanting isn't quite matching up with what they're doing, right? Because the King of Wands in the upright position, that's the master of aligned action or taking aligned action. So you could be kind of highlighting the gap between what it is your person is wanting versus what it is they're actually doing, okay? So yeah, your pressure, but in a good way, okay? And you could be kind of highlighting, where your person is falling short in terms of making progress. Let's see. Pile 2's person. Show me their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2 and their connection with pile 2 at this moment. Yeah, it says you make them feel like royalty, all right? Pile 2, you make your person feel like a king or a queen or royalty, which, if they're showing up as a King of Wands in the reverse, you are definitely, or you could be kicking up, again, self-esteem issues within your person, okay? This is that energy of wanting to make progress, wanting to take action, wanting to make a move, but for some reason maybe feeling like they lack the confidence or they lack the resources in order to do so. That could also be a lack of confidence of not being able to match your energy, or maybe not being able to rise to meet your standards or your expectations, right? Tell me more. And then we have I don't know what I want, okay? Showing up right underneath the 9 of Pentacles, which is the quintessential singlehood card, right? That's thriving in your singleness. So it's kind of interesting to see here now that we have the 3 of Cups, right? Right next to the 9 of Pentacles. But I mean, for who you are to your person, it's like this could also show your person for who you are to them. They can see how you thrive both in connection and by yourself. And again, you're kind of serving as a highlighter or a spotlight on where maybe your person is failing to do the same in those regards. Your person could do very well in social settings, but not so well on their own, or they could be the exact opposite of that. They do fine on their own, but not very well in social settings, okay? Give me one more. Ooh, it says I'm lying to you, and that is showing up right underneath the King of Wands in the reverse. Oh, and then at the bottom of the deck, we have I'm waiting for the right time. Okay, we'll find out what that's in reference to here in a minute. If it's in reference really to anything, it could just be an energy. Tell me about I don't know what I want, and then I just split the deck, and there is the 9 of Pentacles again, along with the 10 of Wands in the reverse. Your person, for whatever reason, could be looking at intimate connections. When I mean intimate, I should say commitment. They could be looking at commitment. And yeah, they could be looking at intimacy as well, like heart-based intimacy, not sexual intimacy, as maybe too overwhelming. Like they thrive better on their own without it. But let me see. Tell me about I don't know what I want. This could be talking too about your person not being sure that they're wanting or they're ready to, hand in their single card yet. Okay, they could just feel like they do a heck of a lot better on their own. Again, that King of Wands in the reverse is speaking volumes here. Because you are kind of like a catalyst to your person. You're calling them to move. You're calling them to grow. You're calling them to expand and to make progress, specifically with you and their connection with you. But this could also be in and of themselves. You could be calling them to grow as a person. And there's some resistance to that, okay? I'm going to say not a lot. So there's not a lot of resistance to that, but it's one of those things like it's uncomfortable, right? growth can be painful. And so it could be too that your person might be wanting to do this, in what I'm hearing is like your person wanting to quote unquote do this in smaller steps. It's not that they don't want to grow. It could just be that they want to take it one step at a time. It could, you know, like a slow burn kind of a thing. Okay. Tell me about I don't know what I want. There's that 10 of Wands in the reverse again. They want to take the path of least resistance. That's what it is. Okay. And the fact that you're showing up to them as queen energy, as, you know, empress energy, and you're calling them forth to be, you know, king energy, divine emperor energy, they want to. And at the same time, there's things that they're needing to maybe let go of, maybe things or people they're needing to shed, walk away from, and it's very comfortable. And they're not refusing, they're saying, but it's like phases. You know, can it be done in phases? Yeah, and then the 8 of Cups in the reverse at the back of the deck, okay? Your person could have a lot of back and forth in terms of like leaving situations and then going back, right? That could even just be their comfort zone, leaving their comfort zone, which for them is toxic. It's keeping them small, right? Leaving their comfort zone to grow, you know, with you, and then retreating back when it gets to be too uncomfortable. All right. Tell me about I'm lying to you. And so what your person is saying, I don't know what I want. It's like, there is a part of them that wants to grow and expand and evolve and stuff like that. And there's the lower vibrational, the shadow side that wants to hold back and not grow, to stay safe in this little toxic comfort zone. But, you know, nervous systems don't necessarily see it as toxic. They just see it as safe. And so, you know, and that makes sense in that sense, because, you know, the nervous system usually needs evidence. It'll take us, okay, I'll take a step. Is everything okay? Yeah, it's okay. And you got to keep making that same step until the nervous system is finally like, okay, we're good here. You know, the nervous system learns through experience, and then it, you know, unlearns through experience as well. And so, you know, that could just be your person doing battle between, you know, the part of them that wants to evolve and the part of them that wants to stay small. Tell me about I'm lying to you. Okay, this is not, okay. They're lying to you about their readiness to start, you know, either start over again, either, you know, reconciliation, if that's something that's needed between the two of you. It could just be their readiness to be able to, you know, with the 10 of Wands in the reverse here, with the Ace of Cups in the reverse, this is like your person resisting just love altogether. That's their toxic comfort zone, right? Because that love is calling them forth to grow and expand, to become somebody completely brand new. That's also going to have them need to walk away from, you know, maybe sketchy connections, bad habits, just that comfort zone, that toxic comfort zone. This isn't an outright lie, like they haven't outright lied to you about something, but they may have indirectly lied to you or giving you the wrong impression about their readiness to start something with you. Like, how do I want to put it? At some point of time, they may have given you the impression that they were ready to have a real committed relationship when they really weren't. Now, they're not saying that they lied outright, but they could also be lying to you about still feeling that way. They could be lying through omission, okay? Because I'm not picking up a sense of them like actually lying to you verbally, but there could be something they're not saying, and it's omission. They're omitting that truth for a reason, to kind of keep you guys in the status quo, right? So what's being lied about here? Your person doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know. Okay, your person could be, yeah, they're lying about this King of Wands in the reverse energy. You know, your person could be lying about the fact that they don't feel They don't feel like they have all their ducks in a row. They could be coming across as somebody that does, somebody that's self-confident, that knows better, blah, blah. They're like, no. And with the Two of Wands in the reverse, your person doesn't, they don't know. They don't know what to do. Your person could be very confused about a lot of things, and they could be lying or trying, or through omission again, or just kind of giving off the impression that they have everything together, that they understand, and you know, they're very clear about what they're wanting versus what they're doing. They could also be trying to make it look like, you know, what's happening is what they intended to happen, when that's not the case at all. You know, it's like, who was it, Urkel? Was it Family Matters, Steve Urkel? I meant to do that. You know, when he really didn't. Something like that, right? All right, tell me about this bottom of the deck energy. I'm waiting for the right time. Yes and no. This actually came out in the reverse, and it shifted itself to the upright position. And notice it came out, this was the Two of Wands again. Okay, I just put it back in the deck, shuffled it, came out again in the two, in the reverse, shifting in. So that's what they're waiting for the right time for. They're trying this. I don't know what I want. That's what's keeping them stuck right there. This could also be what they're lying about, because they do know what they want. And what they're wanting is they're wanting to expand. They want to grow. They want to evolve. But again, that's going to require them to walk away from things that, you know, may be difficult for them to want to walk away from. That comfort zone is it's toxic. And so it is very alluring. It can be difficult to walk away from. And so, you know, what your person is waiting for is, you know, feeling like they know what they're going to do. They know what the next step is. They don't know that yet. They're not sure, okay? And that's what they're waiting for. So the right time for what? I'm waiting for the right time for what? Death in the reverse. Huh. Is this in relation to other connections or another connection? Yes. Okay. So your person has a commitment somewhere else, possibly with someone else, that they're needing to walk away from in order to grow and expand. If this is a third party connection, okay, if there is a third party connection here, again, doesn't have to be romantic, but it is a commitment that your person has made. It's like, so whoever this commitment is to, that's where their commitment is. That's why they're not growing and expanding with you, because their energy, their attention, their focus is going somewhere else, okay? Somewhere else, to someone else, romantic. You guys are going to know what the deal is. And so they're waiting for the right time to leave whatever that connection is, or that situation is that they are committed to. And the reason why they're waiting is because there's something, they're needing some kind of information, or just, you know, them saying that they don't know what they want. They do know that they want to make progress with you and stuff like that, but there seems to be some information missing as far as your person's concerned, that if they were to find that information out, and it's funny that I said that because the Page of Swords is at the back of the deck. Very interesting. Yeah, there's a piece of it. Your person is waiting, and they could be in observation mode. They could be waiting to see if you show up a certain way or say a certain thing or something like that. But like, they're waiting for something. They need something to click into place, but it's something that they're going to be able to observe. It could also be some kind of communication. But that Two of Wands is kind of like hanging back and observing and seeing how things unfold, right? Because whoever that connection is with, they're not quite ready to let that go yet. So there's a couple of different things. There is the resistance to an ending to some kind of another connection that your person is committed to. That is it's not harmonious with that Two of Cups in the reverse, okay? It is something that your person, they know that they're needing to walk away from because it's not working, okay? And at the same time, and that's part of the growth though, you know, letting go of what's not working so that you see, and that's where your person is sabotaging themselves. It's like they want to know the whole staircase before they take the first step, and that's just not how things work. Your person is wanting to know for sure that things are going to work out with you and their connection with you before they step outside of that toxic comfort zone. And that first step outside of that toxic comfort zone is them leaving behind some kind of a third party dynamic where their current commitment is to. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let's find out where you currently stand with them. Coffee cup. This is meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted in friendship, and that is showing up right on top of that Three of Cups. Okay, the Three of Cups can talk about, you know, reconciliation, but it's more of a friendly reconciliation. It's not so much romance. Now, I'm not saying romance isn't going to be an element of it, but it's not the driving factor, right? So yeah, I mean, you do make your person feel really well, really good. Again, you make them feel like royalty, right? And there's also a dynamic to your guys' connection for your person anyway that feels very easy, very go with the flow, simple, but in a good way, right? Tell me more. But I'm also hearing that, like, they're projecting, they're wanting to know, oh, okay, that might be what it is. They're wanting to know if it's going to stay that way, if they shift that commitment from whatever that third party dynamic is over to you and your guys' connection. They could be projecting fear, like, you know, once they commit to you, that things will shift from being, you know, lighthearted and easygoing and, you know, friends first, you know, lovers second and stuff like that, to something more difficult. Like, you guys are going to lose an aspect of your guys' connection that made it so easy, right? Passion, yeah. And that is showing up right over the Nine of Pentacles. This is very healthy, you know, because the Nine of Pentacles in the upright position, that's not codependence. That's the antithesis of codependence. That's thriving in your individuality. Now, not saying that you can't thrive in a connection, because again, that's right next to the Three of Cups. It's like you thrive together and you thrive independently. There's no codependence here. But your person could be fearing that the moment the two of you come together in a committed kind of a connection, all of a sudden that dynamic is going to morph into something that might be more on the codependent side, okay? Passion says insane chemistry, like each other equally and having fun. Yeah, having fun. Yeah, there's a lot here about them having fun with you. That Three of Cups, you know, that picture in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, the Three of Cups, there's, you know, three maidens that are, you know, they're cheers, you know, they got their cups up like they're you know, doing the cheers. In Spanish I think we call it brindis, but what do they call that? Yes, cheers, but there's something else. Anyway, you know, it even looks like they're dancing and they're celebrating and they're just, you know, maybe not even celebrating, other than just celebrating the moment and having fun and feeling uplifted and stuff like that. You know, celebrating and just feeling good in each other's company. You know, your person really does enjoy the time that they do spend with you. They enjoy your presence. They enjoy your company. There is a romantic and sexual component to that as well, okay? Because that's passion. All right, that's passion. Let's see. You know, I am going to say it because it is here. This may be more on the specific side. You guys are going to know whether or not this is true. You will have been picking up the signs and maybe even had an inkling before. But your person could actually, they may only be attracted to you in a very platonic way, okay? That energy is there. but not for all of you, okay? Especially with that King of Wands showing up in the reverse. So, I mean, you know, for some of you, where you stand with your person and where, you know, for who you are to them, that you could just, they could see you as a really, as a good friend, okay? But let's see. Because, you know, you can be, I'm passionate about some close friends of mine that I'm platonic with. You know, insane chemistry doesn't always have to translate into romance and sex, right? But, you know, we'll see what else comes out. The Sword and the Rose. This is clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. Yeah. You know, your person, they don't want to confuse you. They don't, like, if you don't know where you stand with your person and you are genuinely feeling confused about who you are to them, where you stand and stuff like that, they don't necessarily like that. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have sunglasses. Watching, yeah, there's that observing. Remember I told you they're kind of hanging back and observing? That's what they're doing with this watching, looking. Perception and focusing out. I don't necessarily feel like they're gaslighting or stalking. There is a sense here, though, of them kind of keeping an eye and watching how things unfold, watching how you act. And there is a sense of your person wanting to make sure that, you know, what they have seen of you so far, that it's not just lip service, like it's not just a mask that's going to drop later on. You see what I'm saying? All right, what does pile two's person want with pile two in their connection? Ultimately, main lady, look, okay, it says they have chosen no interference, focused on one person, and that is right on top of, you make me feel like a king, queen, royalty. And this is about what they want with you. So they want you to be their main person, okay? They don't want any third-party interference, whether it's on their end or yours, okay? So they are being sincere when they're saying they're waiting for the right time to let that third-party dynamic go so that they can transfer that commitment from them onto you. I just heard back onto you, okay? For some of you, for those of you where that applies. And they only want to focus on you, okay? They only want to focus on you and only on your guys' connection. So if there is, for some of you, a current third-party dynamic going on, they don't like it, okay? They would they would actually rather just focus on, you know, just one connection, one person, and they prefer that to be you. Okay, what do they want? What do they want with pile two in their connection with pile two? Knowing the path, but it is showing up in the reverse, okay? Right on top of, I don't know what I want. In the upright position, it says, align with your purpose, accepting your story on the right track. I'll have to see what's going on with that because it is showing up in the reverse. We also have boundaries, okay? No more enabling, feeling used, setting healthy boundaries. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have work. Focused on work, working hard and long hours, and love at work. So let me see. Okay. It's interesting here with knowing the path showing up in the reverse. There's something that they're not quite ready to accept yet. Okay? Something they're not quite ready to let go. There's an identity that they're not quite ready to let go of. And an identity can be many things. It can be they're not quite ready to let go of, you know, being the party person, or being the single person, or, you know, being the person who's unattached, or whatever the case might be, right? That could be why with boundaries here, that's coming through as what they're wanting. It's like there's almost... they're not ready. And for some of you, they're even in a space right now, right? It's not always going to be like that. I should say temporarily, they're in a space right now where they're not willing yet to fully align with committing to your guys' connection. It is an intention, right? That's what they want. And at the same time, it's almost like, okay, but let's hold off for a second. There's still something that I'm needing to know, something that I'm needing to experience, something that, you know, I need to let go of that I'm not ready to let go of yet. Tell me about boundaries for what pile two's person is wanting. Yeah, they're not ready yet to elevate your guys' connection. And that could even be like to the point of making it public with the Six of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so some of you, you know, that might be what you're wanting. And of course, that's, you know, to be expected if you're wanting to be the main person in your person's life officially, right? Is to, you know, make it public. You know, letting all your friends and family know, putting it on, so, or being able to share your life more out in public, whether you do it on social media or not. But your person is like, I'm not ready for that yet. There could be an element to your guys' connection that is on the down low, right? Maybe even a bit of a secret, or needs to be on the down low, or your person wants it to be, or they want it to remain on the down low. Because there is, for many of you, some kind of a third party dynamic going on, whether or not, you know, it's romantic. They could just be in a space where if the third party dynamic isn't romantic or sexual, you know, it could just be something where they're like, I'm just not ready to let other people know that I'm taken, right? For whatever reason. Again, there could be an identity that your person is still holding on to, the single person, the player person, the party person. Anything else for boundaries? Oh, yeah. They're wanting to, okay, that's, the boundary is keeping you guys within this Three of Cups dynamic, which is more on a friendship base, okay? This can also, the Three of Cups can also reference back to third parties. They're not quite ready yet to let go of some kind of a third party dynamic, even if it's just wanting to keep the door open to possible third party dynamics, right? That could be your person having a hard time hanging up, you know, their single card or their single hat or whatever, okay? They're just not ready for it, pile two. All right, you guys, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't yet already done so. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile two, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys. What is going on, pile three? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Michelle. We are back doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through who you are to your person. Where do you currently stand with them, and what is it that they want when it comes to you and their connection with you? Okay, so just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general collective love reading. Whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, you know the deal. Just drop it, leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details can be found in the description box below. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category, including this exact reading right here that we're getting ready to do in this exact format, okay? I also have a lot of $25 readings available for you to choose from, so just go see which ones fit your needs. All right, you guys. Yeah, so you guys were drawn to, I'm burning Paulo, give me a second. You guys were drawn to the rose quartz palm stone. I gotta ground myself. There we go. The beautiful rose quartz palm stone. It's actually pretty clear when you see it in the light. I love that one. Okay. Let's see. Who are you to your person? Ooh, we have coming apart showing up in the reverse. The number 46 or the number 10 or the number 1 could be significant. There could also be either an ending with a new beginning or vice versa. We also have, okay, we got the Five of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Interesting how, okay, I feel like this connection, yeah, I feel like there might be new life or new energy being put into this connection. So there may have been an ending with that 10, but that 10 reduces down to a 1. And the reason why I said that, notice how we have two cards here with very much of the same hues, the same coloring, right? This purple, and then it goes like darkness going into the light, right? And so that light pops off with the Seven of Wands and then the Knight of Wands. So we have the Five of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, okay. So for who you are to your person, what this connection is to your person, it feels like it's a situation that maybe they tried to hold together after it was already cracking. This could feel like your person up until this point, maybe they felt like that they had stayed longer than they should have, not because it was aligned, but because it was familiar. Maybe because it was convenient or temporarily soothing to them. It's like you and this connection became a place where your person felt like they lingered in while avoiding like some kind of a deeper reckoning. But I'm feeling like this is where they were, and then there's going to be a shift into where things are going, okay? So for who you are and what your connection is to your person, it's like something was exposed that wasn't sustainable, and it could have either been within your person and or within the connection itself. There's definitely a sense here of mirroring happening, showing your person where they were stalling instead of choosing, or where maybe they allowed things to kind of stagnate or go stagnant. There's a bit of a reckoning energy coming through, especially with that coming apart energy showing up in the reverse. They're not necessarily seeing you in the connection as a mistake, but there's definitely a sense of you being a lesson that they tried to postpone learning, okay? Because there are regrets here with that Five of Cups, okay? This is real. This is felt and experience. This is experienced regret. This isn't something. So there could have been a sense where maybe your person was trying to not feel regret at some point, but with that coming undone in the reverse and the Five of Cups actually coming out, that might actually be like, because coming undone or coming apart, showing up at, you know, as the main energy, that's something needing to come undone, something needing to come apart. But with in the reverse, it's not allowing, it's being avoided. It's not so much ignoring as it is running away from it. And that Five of Cups could be what they were trying to run away from, was from feeling regret, from feeling remorse, from feeling, you know, a sense of guilt or something like that. Yeah, I mean, to them, you know, for who you are, there's regret coming through in your person's energy, maybe disappointment, maybe a sense of they messed it up, that they didn't show up the way that they should have. There is definitely a sense of some kind of emotional disappointment that they are still in the process of. Either they're just now tapping into it, or they're still in the process of like mourning it. Maybe they haven't, but that mourning isn't finished. Yeah, that Seven of Wands, that's more resistance. Something about your energy challenged them, emotionally, sexually, mentally, energetically. Like your person felt the need to justify themselves, the need to protect their story or whatever their narrative is, or to hold their ground instead of softening. For who you are to your person and what your connection is or was to your person, really kind of either caused a lot of walls to go up in your person or exposed walls, okay? And that could be with that coming apart in the reverse. You know, your guys' connection could have exposed walls that your person already had up. And the whole point of your guys' connection was to try to teach your person. That could have been the lesson your person didn't learn. They didn't learn how to soften their defenses. They didn't learn how to let those walls down, right? And that could have been, you know, what they're feeling some remorse and regret about. Could be a sense of here of maybe the two of you not really getting to know each other at a deeper level because of those walls. That wall caused your person to kind of be in this position of, you know, needing to be right instead of just connecting, right? They were valuing a sense of needing to be right versus connection with you. Like your connection put them in a posture of guarding rather than like opening up and softening to you and their connection with you. This is coming from a fear of being challenged or exposed, okay, within your person. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands, the connection itself was very hot, you know, sexually charged. There's even some kind of an activation, maybe that, yeah, a definite activation. That activation was supposed to help your person learn and grow and soften. But it, you know, your person's defenses, it did the opposite thing. It's like they, rather than softening those walls, it's almost like they reinforced them. You know, and that Knight of Wands with all this other energy, there's a lot of attraction and chemistry between the two of you, but there was nothing to ground it. Yeah, I mean, you know, for who you are to your person, you're a lesson that they didn't learn. You are a catalyst that they never did integrate. You could have come in during a period of time when your person was already outgrowing something, but instead of choosing clarity, they tried to patch things up instead, like internally, right? Instead of just really trying to change and learn a lesson, they just kind of put a Band-Aid on it, trying to move on. You know, you triggered both desire and fear within your person, definitely. But rather than growing, it's like your person kind of reinforced, like their ego, their wounded ego. They reinforced their wounded ego than they did, you know, growing beyond it or healing it. Yeah, I mean, it's very, we'll see what the rest of the reading has to say. Let's see what they're, I'm trying to see what direction this is going. Because I feel like, you know, there's that ending, right? But then that ending in the 10, but then again, this energy is in the reverse. And so, you know, that ending could be they resisted the ending, and then they're also going to be resisting a new beginning, okay? Your person is just very much in resistance right now. That's internal resistance. They're so resistant to learning lessons and to integrating change, and, you know, that ego in your person, that wounded ego, is very, very strong right now. All right, what is pile 3's person? Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings, please. Yeah, it says, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? Oh, wow. Then we got love bombing and gaslighting. Okay. This is your person basically doing and saying whatever it is they think they need to do or say to get what they want from you. Okay. This is, especially with the 7 of Wands. This is them doing and saying whatever they need to get what they want while simultaneously keeping those walls up. Okay. The fact that aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet is coming out underneath the 5 of Cups. This is your person regretting, okay, that they put you through a lot of that stuff. This is even them coming through regretting that they were showing up and behaving in ways that were, for many of you, blatantly disrespectful to you and to your guys' connection, okay? Unfortunately, though, there's regret there, but we'll see if any change is going to actually happen. The recognition is there, but knowledge and recognition alone, you have to humble yourself. You got to submit to it. You got to let that wall down, and that can be very scary for, you know, people that are still being hijacked by their wounds, okay? Yeah, see, remembering and focusing on the bad times. Your person's not trying to let you in, okay? At the bottom of the deck, we have I can't talk to you right now. Let me check that energy real quick to see if it's background or if it's weakening. Let's see. It's background energy. They're still, and look, it's for the purposes of keeping something hidden from you. There could be more lies. Okay, that's that love bombing and gaslighting, but they're not talking to you because there's something that they're hiding or something that they're wanting to keep in the dark. Keep you in the dark about, okay? Let's see if we can find out what that is. What are they trying to keep in the dark when it comes to pile 3? I mean, maybe that they're trying to move on, or that they have moved on. The Six of Swords in the upright position, that's, you know, trying to make a peaceful transition, but that could be your person trying to put mental distance between the two of you. Tell me more. It could involve, you know, this could either involve another person, like a feminine energy, possibly a water sign, but this could also, if it's not a water sign, it could just be someone that your person could have feelings for, all right? If it's not a person, this energy did want to come out in the reverse. This could be your person trying to keep you, like they're not talking to you, and the reason why they're still in that energy is because they're trying to keep not only a mental distance from you, but an emotional distance from you as well, okay? Yeah, oh yeah, and then there's the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck in the upright position. This is them just trying to stay in their mind, trying to stay in, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like they're doing everything they can to keep those walls and those defenses up. There's also something about maybe when they are engaging with you in whatever capacity that they do engage, it feels very messy to them. And it could be that because emotions get drawn into it when they engage with you, and so it's like they cut off contact and communication to help. That's their way of trying to cut out like the noise, right? Let's see, where does pile 3 currently stand with their person? Date, okay, this is meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plan, set a date, but we're talking about where you stand with them, but we'll see, okay, what direction that's going in. Where does pile 3 currently stand with their person? Clock. Need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. Okay. Kisses. All right, yeah, this is them wanting to date you. Okay, so I mean, there is for the most part kind of a sense to where your person is concerned. Like they're not quite done with the connection with you yet, but they're not quite ready to reconcile. Okay. At least maybe in the way that you guys are wanting to reconcile. They could be wanting to start off light and easy with this date here, right? At the bottom of the deck, we have a photograph. This is looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. Yeah. And so, you know, there is a desire coming from your person for where you stand with them, wanting to make new memories. This could also be like, even though they're not talking to you, many of you are not in communication with your person. They're still maintaining some kind of a connection with you by way of maybe looking at photos of the two of you together, reliving memories in their head. And they are missing you, right? And at the same time, there's some kind of a messiness that they're associating with engaging with you, at least right now, okay? So let me see. I'll get timing to see when they because for many of you, you could be waiting for contact in terms of reconciliation. When are they going to hear from their person again? Ooh, wow, the Tower. Major Arcana. What is that? Something's going to have to shake loose within them internally first before they end up doing that. But I believe the Tower is also like Plutonian energy, Scorpio energy. Okay. Tell me more about timing and actual time range. What we have here. I mean, fairly quickly. We have the Ace of Swords. I mean, it could be within a day, okay? At most, maybe a week that you're going to be hearing from your person, receiving some kind of communication. That doesn't necessarily mean that the two of you are going to see each other, but there's also might be news coming. Your person could be dealing with some kind of a structure in their life that is currently like stumbling down or burning down or something like that. And there's a sense here that they might want to talk to you about that, because I'm hearing news with this Tower. They want to talk to you about some news, or they want to talk to you about the news, okay? So you are going to hear from this person fairly soon. But be careful with this love bombing and this gaslighting energy here, because this is your person again. You know, they're not above telling you what they think you want to hear in order to get what they want, meaning they may not necessarily, they may not mean what they say, and they know that they don't mean what they say, but you know, if they want something from you and they know that you need to hear something specific in order to get it, they will tell you that even though they don't have the intention of following through. Okay, so just be careful about that. Your person has a tendency to focus and remember on the bad times. That they could be avoidant, okay, or they could have avoidant tendencies. But you know what, people, I don't know if no, that's an avoidant thing. But I mean, there are fearful avoidants out there. You know, you can flip back and forth between fearful and I should say anxious and what's that word? I'm feeling like I'm running against time here because the sun feels like it's getting ready to go down and I need to hurry up and get this going. But anyway, with remembering and focusing on the bad times, that can often be a tactic of someone. That's what they try to do in order to put mental and emotional distance between them and someone else, to keep those walls up so that those walls don't soften. So just be careful, because your person's in the habit of doing that. They're in the habit, and if you know, I've seen it happen. I've experienced it with myself. You know, if somebody that is wanting to deactivate by, you know, only focusing on the bad things, if they can't find something to really be mad about or to really be disgusted by or anything like that, they will make something up. Their nervous system, their brains, their subconscious will make something up. So just be very careful about that, okay? Your person is pretty dedicated to those walls staying up, and they'll tell themselves whatever they need to tell themselves, and they'll wholeheartedly believe it. And you know, bad things about you, they could make up bad memories. I mean, this shit can be diabolical, you guys, okay? So just keep that in mind. What does pile 3's person want from pile 3 and their connection with pile 3? Addiction, and that came out with love and growth. Okay, yeah, there's almost like there's two different aspects kind of doing battle within your person, and inner struggle happening within your person. Addiction says bad habits, addicted to sex, addicted to drinking, etc., destructive behavior. Okay, so for what they're wanting, there's a very large part of them that wants that wall to stay up, and they want to stay low vibrational. Okay. Not necessarily toxic, but because I do have a toxic card in this deck, your person could have a legitimate addiction, and you know, they're wanting to stay in that addiction. They're not wanting to conquer it. They're not, you know, you see what I'm saying? And then, but there's also a part of them that wants to grow with love and growth here. It says, you know, for what they're wanting with you, it says love that grows with time, needs time to grow. And that's showing up right underneath the clock. And so that's letting me know that your person is almost like, that's why we might have this feeling of like an ending and then there's a new beginning. Okay, like that is there, but your person is not really in denial of it, of the new beginning, right? But there's this sense of, in order for that new beginning to happen, there's going to be some bad habits that they're probably going to have to let go of, right? There's some maybe shifty or shady connections that they need to walk away from. There's just a sense here, like there's a, yeah, and it could just be healing. You know, your person might need time to heal some wounding that has caused them to keep and want to keep those walls up, that have caused them to want to maintain mental and emotional distance from you. You know, that fear of intimacy, that fear of letting you get too close, right? That fear of letting you have any kind of mental and emotional influence and power over them. Because when you get close to someone at that level, you have the ability to really deeply impact a person. And people that are on more of the avoidant side just are scared of that, right? Fearful of that. There's a part of them, though, that wants to heal. But at the same time, we have, you know, needs time to grow right underneath clock, which says needs time, takes time, time to heal, right? So yeah, your person does want to make progress. They do want the connection between the two of you to grow. And at the same time, your person is recognizing in order for that to happen, there's a natural healing process that needs to happen. There's things that need to fall away, and your person could be is still at this point very resistant to whatever that that pruning process is. Okay, cutting off all of the dead growth, and then we got stringing along. All right, yeah, your person is not ready to commit. They're not ready to walk away from certain kinds of, you know, addictions or third-party dynamics, whether they're romantic or not. But they're not ready to let go of you either. Yeah, going in circles, showing up at the back of the deck. This says not making any progress. This is in the short term, right? This is what's actually happening. You know, your person wanting to make progress, wanting to heal, all of that right at this point is simply an intention. And it feels like it's an intention that your person is kind of throwing off into the future. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. It doesn't feel like that's a priority. And, you know, by proxy, that means that you and their connection with you is also not a priority. They could be prioritizing addiction of some kind, okay? And if it's not actual addiction, it's definitely low vibrational stuff. It's, you know, wounded ego stuff, shadow stuff, inner child healing stuff that needs to be done that they're not doing, right? So be careful. There's that gaslighting, because it says giving false hope and selfish intentions. Be very careful, pile 3, about what this person tells you, okay? Because they are going to, if they know that you need to hear I love you, you know, if they know that you need to hear, you know, we're going to be together, I'm going to leave the third party, they're going to tell you that without having any intention of actually following through. Okay? Anyway. Oh yeah, and then kisses. I never did say what that was for where you stand. They do love you. There is love there. It says unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection and falling in love. That is there. And your person is currently dealing with some kind of low vibrational nature, some kind of a wounded ego, you know, an abandonment wound, attachment issues, something where that is louder than the love. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Pile 3, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you have not yet already done so, simply by subscribing, and don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Pile 3. I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, you guys.